Man, was that tough to get online today. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, and perhaps even good evening. Thank you so much for hanging in there for like 2.5 hours while I was getting things ready. It is wonderful to see you. Look at how many people we've got in the house. This is crazy good. We've got Miss Julia, who special shout out today. It's her birthday today. So happy birthday, Miss Julia. Wonderful to see you. Mr. Art is here. Mr. Brian is here. Really nice that you could make it. Glad to see Mr. Dragonate, of course. Rosie's Jim. Wonderful to see you. Mr. Jeremy, my goodness, this is great. Art makes a scene. You know what, Art? This is really cool. You have so many usernames. I believe you also, and let me know if this was supposed to be secret, but you're also the Disabled American Veteran, I believe, which is great. So I don't actually have 100 fans. I only have 27, but they all have 3 different identities. But one of those things. Popeye, wonderful to see you. And I believe that's everyone. Also meet the new bot client, which is 3D Shenanigans. I thought, maybe I'm going to use 3D Shenanigans instead of J Plays. Either will work fine. Let me know which one you prefer. I haven't given them the right permissions yet, but hey, things are all brand new here. I believe there's also Nancy. Nancy was also here earlier. So Nancy, hello. Good to see you too. And I believe that is everyone. Oh, Bob Sader. Seeing you there as well, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Anyone else? Anyone else that I have totally forgotten? Raise your hand now. It was not deliberate. I just had a lot of stuff like the mechanical music. Good to see you. Speaking about music, that is one thing we don't have today because that's just something I couldn't hook up / couldn't work out how to hook up. So it's one of those things. And yes, thank you for reminding me. Try to type in !Leartes, because that'll give you a link to this crazy good Leartes bundle that we're going to have a look at today with Unreal Engine 5. There's also some Unity items in there, so that might be interesting for you, Jeremy. But there is also, yes, new digs, exactly. But mostly they are Unreal Engine items, and some of them we're going to have a look at today. That is the plan. So no music for you. I mean, I'm going to have music for me, but sadly not for you. I hope I can facilitate that for next time. Where is the music button? This one. That's the one. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to some smooth jazz here. Sadly, it's a new streaming setup, completely new setup. By the way, Rosie's Gym, because that means new digs. So that's number one. We have moved indeed, which is great. We have moved. It's been on the cards for so long, and we finally did it. So that is one thing. Number 2, then that means new internet connection. Of course, gotta get used to that. Number 3, new streaming setup. So that is also completely new. And in so doing, I've retired my old streaming PC, which is, I'm sad to say it, which means I couldn't / forgotten to copy all the commands we had on the old streaming PC, because he's in a box somewhere. Gotta dig him out if I want to grab them, or just be proactive about this and start afresh. Sometimes that is just what you got to do, and that's what we're going to do with some commands. Perhaps we're going to go and start with that today. Let's do that. Yeah, there we go. I also need to clean up my desktop while I'm here. In fact, let me go show you how I do that. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it stuff. And then I'm going to go and select everything except for the trash can, put that in stuff. And look at that. Clean desktop. Is that nice or what? So if you type !Leartes, see if that works. In fact, I can do it while you watch. If I were to do Leartes like this, does the bot post this? Let's see, does he? It doesn't. Well, that's not good, is it? Maybe we should start with that. Why doesn't it do commands? Do I need to enable them? Everyone has access to commands, but the bot just doesn't post them. That's bad, isn't it? Why not? That's bad. How did we do that before then? This is the Streamlabs desktop client, by the way. I'm using that instead of the cloud bot, in case you're wondering, because the bad bot, yes, because the cloud bot doesn't work reliably with YouTube. It works well with Twitch, reacts relatively fast, but not with YouTube because it's all special and crazy. And maybe permission everyone. How do we do this? We just go do this and we say, hello. And then he should say hello to you too. And then that is it. We don't want to play a sound file. Permission everyone is fine. Or is it regular? Sponsor. Min points maximum. Invisible. Maybe regular. Usage stream chat. Group chat. Oh, that's why. Because this needs to be... Can we put it to a group or something? And then we go, hey, Callie, how's it going? Good to see you. If I say hello, does that work? If only it did. Hello, and then that doesn't give an answer. What a shame. So yeah, that is uncool. Don't know why that is. Maybe it's because he doesn't have the right permissions. So there we go. Hello to you too. That is nice. So how about, thanks guys. How about Leartes? Does that work? Do we get a play? The J plays? Yeah, maybe that's gonna be a good command. Did I spell it correctly? Leartes. It does, but oh, does he not? That is why I think my new bot doesn't have permission to post links. Oh, maybe that is it. And that had a link in there, and that is why it didn't work. Oh, there we go. Oh, we don't have any specials today. What a shame. Look at that. See if I can make that work. Just a second, folks. This is new to me too, you know. But I'm glad you're here because you can maybe help me figure this out. Let me give him permission. I think there was something that you needed to do there. And of course I can't find where the other thing is. And then we're totally going to get on with some 3D stuff. I promise you that. I promise you it's going to happen. It's going to happen for sure. Do you remember where that is? Cake and champagne for everyone. That'd be good. Yes, that is exactly the problem. So that it can post links. Nate, exactly right. And he is not a mod. Where do I set that? Is that settings? Yeah, settings, community, managing moderators. And we need to put in there. Yes, thank you. Exactly. Now, is this here? That. Save. Let's try that again then. What happens if we go into... Oops. We do that again. Can he now post links? And yes, hello to Dragonate's mom. If you're watching, hello Dragonate's mom. Good to see you. Doesn't work. Dang, what a shame. Why not? So I've made him a moderator of, did I do it right? Settings permissions, no, settings community is now a managing moderator of my other channel. A standard moderator, maybe that needs to be also a standard moderator. So, hello. Like that, like that. Yes, standard moderator. Let's try that. So if we type Leartes now, does that work? Can you post links, buddy? Come on, post links. I can even try it. I think I can try like this. I can type as the bot. And bot can say hello. Yes, that's cool. But can he post a link to Jay's website, perhaps? Like that. And that gets swallowed up. That is a shame. I don't really know why that happens. We don't have link protection on here. Yes, it's great, isn't it? When it works, it's a really cool toy. But getting it to work, man, it took me years. And I took the thing offline. Jay, why did you do that? Caps protection, link protection. So that is not on, which is good. Because otherwise the bot would take care. That's got to be something on my end. That could be that it takes a while for this to kick in. That's possible as well. Yes, because that's definitely the correct place here. Hidden, approved. Oh man, do you know what? Because I'm doing it the other way around. Duh. It's because I'm stupid. I'm giving I'm giving the WP Guru mod permissions on 3D Shenanigans. That's of course not what I want. I need to do it the other way around. Duh. Let's try it the other way around. Let's go like do this and do like that. Standard moderators, there we go. J plays, there he is. We go and say 3D shit. Whoops. We say 3D Shenanigans. There we go. Oh, there's a channel called Blender Shenanigans. That is exciting. Let's try that now. So if I go Leartes. Come on, buddy, you can do it. You can't? Because I'm tapping at the bottom. Well, why would that's bad. Is that possible? No, bot still can't do it. I don't know why. Maybe I need to regenerate the token. I also have a feeling that's going to take some time. Could I just disconnect the new bot and log in with the old bot? Or even better, we're just going to go do this another time. Oh no, there we go, it works. Oh, bot, look at that, it works. Oh, look at that. This is great because this means, first of all, I can listen to music again. Second of all, we can now go and put everyone's favorite links in. I think that is a great idea. We're going to start with the Brian. So we're going to go and say Brian without caps lock. Brian. Check out Brian's excellent 3D stuff and printing channel. Should I be doing that? Should I be saying that? What should I be saying, Brian? It's totally your call. You get to say what the bot's going to say. Butter, that is another thing. Yeah, you need to give me the link for the Butter Barn video and then I can totally put it in. Excellent 3D. What are we going to say? What are we going to say? We're going to say Brian's excellent 3D channel at check out Brian's now pretty much abandoned channel. We'll do that. Excellent. Brian's now pretty much abandoned channel. This is great. Yes, I appreciate that. And it's going to be youtube.com/0Calvin. Clavin even. Calvin. There we go. I love it. So that's that. That's Brian. I also like copying this, and because sometimes people type in 0Calvin, don't they? So I'm going to go and make another command. 0Calvin. I'm just so glad this works. Then we need, of course, Mr. Nate's channel. Nate. Check out Drago Nate's gaming channel. And that is, of course, youtube.com/DragoNate. That's correct, right? Or is it Dragonate? You exactly, try it out immediately. 0Calvin, does it work? Come on, bot. Does it work? It's 1500% better than the rest. I like it. It's 1500% better than other channels. I love it. That's perfect. Who else? Mr. Chris. Very important. Let's go Mr. Chris's channel. Chris. Come hang out with the legend himself. That is Mr. Chris Cox over on the Twitch TM. And that is, of course, twitch.tv/Chris L. Cox. The L is silent. There we go. So that's good. Norm. Leo, how's it going? Leo, I've forgotten to shout you out earlier. This is great. That is pretty much a good core bunch. We're going to leave this open so that we can go and, add more commands to it now that 3D Shenanigans works also well. But for now, it's time for some of these things in the Leartes bundle. Let me have a look. This is the thing. So they've sent me an email. They're selling on multiple marketplaces, and currently we're getting this thing here with 19 items for a mere $30. It's technically $1,300 worth of value that sort of gets reduced to $100, and then they give you a discount code which then takes $70 off that or something, and then we basically get it all for free. And what it comes with is Gigapack vehicles. Do we do this and then we can have a look at that? Yes, we can. So these are drivable vehicles. I actually already have those from the Cyberpunk Giga Pack or whatever it's called. So there's some drivable vehicles. I know nothing about driving mechanics, but they come with it, trash truck and all that. So very cool. This is the one I want to have a look at among others. It's the Cyberpunk Rooftop Market, and that reminded me a little bit of Stray, I have to say, where the little cat goes and walks around. And I'm thinking I'd like to build an animation that'll replace the Saloon out there. So this is one that is certainly in the market there. I've just downloaded it. I haven't looked at it yet. So let's do that together. This is one I want to have a look at. And also this is sort of a medium large level. I'm thinking it'd be great to have people walking around there. So see if we can get some iClone people in there, maybe some DAS people, and just get some idle animations in there. So that's the Cyberpunk Rooftop Market. Here it is on the Unreal Engine marketplace as well. So that is pretty cool. I want to have a look at that. Then there's the Cyberpunk Laboratory, which also looks very cool. So it's like a proper cyberpunk sort of collection. It's more like an indoor environment with this is like plastic sheeting here. So looking cool. I'm looking forward to playing with that. This is Unreal Engine guy here. I thought at first they're going to give you access to these things on the Unreal Engine store, but that's not the case. You download them all from the from Gumroad. And this is the other one that looks almost like it could fit in with Jay's Saloon there. So it looks like something out of Fallout, where somebody's made a shelter out of stuff that they've cobbled together. And I'm thinking I can put like a Jay's water sanctuary thing in here and build out some background objects and do something very similar to this that I did to Jay's Saloon. So we don't have all that many items, but if I put things like this and paint them around with foliage, we can probably get a good little water scene going here. There's also this thing about, so I'm going to have a look at that as well. There's also this thing about water, so I'll see if I can either use the Unreal Engine water plugin for this or something else. Roman street environment, English cottage. I'd like to look at that as well. That's a nice indoor environment that I just want to see if we can use that for a project I'm working on with curtains and everything. It's very, very nice. Might be a little bit too cartoony. And the trick with assets is always to pick something that's 95% there. Don't pick something that's 20% there and then spend 6 months redoing it, figuring out, hey, that was not what I was looking for. So, but this could work potentially. Stylized Indian city. Oh, this is also nice here. This is the Havana street environment. So that's also something I'm looking forward to. That is a great bargain, isn't it? I totally agree. Absolutely. Yeah, so this would be nice for a little busy street scene. I can see people from balconies hanging out here and walking up and down. So that's also a classic use case where we can use iClone people, but I don't know how big that is. I have a feeling it's just this with a bunch of houses, and you're very limited in what you can actually show there. So if it's a wide shot just of a street with people walking, that might work. So we'll have a look at that as well. I like the idea. There's a boxing club, Stylized Indian city. These are for Unity here, like a diner, medieval tavern. There's also some tutorials in here. Very nice. Fantasy Castle. I already have that from a Humble Bundle for Unreal Engine, but now I have the Unity version as well. That's cool. And then there's the Desert Bazaar. That is a huge level as well. And there's some shotguns. So let's see how we proceed in doing that. I think the first thing we will do is go into the downloads folder where these things are sleeping. One's called Temple, Wetland Sanctuary. Why don't we start with that? And I'll go and extract all of that into potentially here. Can't go wrong with that. It could be, Leo. It could be Havana Street. That's maybe why it looked so familiar. Why don't we have a quick nosy? Havana. I've seen some of the... Yes, that's the one. Vintage Street. My goodness, you have a good eye. By Feng. So it could be that he's actually working for the team. It looks almost uncannily similar. It could be the same assets, could be different assets. Hard to say. Hard to say. Good eye. Actually, Leo rather than Art. Sorry about that. So it could be that. I have seen some others that are available on the Unreal Engine Marketplace that are also available on the DAS store, sometimes with different names, but also sometimes by the same creators, like Decagon Studios do that sometimes. So that is Wetlands. Maybe I should go and put that into a sensible sort of folder here. And we go and start messing with that. Here perhaps, and we'll go and say Unreal Engine Projects. And we'll go and make another folder, and we'll call that Leartes Extravaganza. Extravaganza, there we go. And then we put that in here, Wetland Sanctuary. Right? Is that what we do? I think. Hello? Maybe we don't. It's true, yes, and it's sometimes it's just that look. So it might not be the same assets. Not responding is not what we want to hear now, is it? There we go. Nice one. I like it. Thanks. And then we can put this to here and say, yes, fine. Then also temple. Why don't we just extract that as well? While we're at it. Extract, or could even extract that directly into here. Then I don't have to worry about, that. Does that work? Yes. Yes, that works. Even better. See, Bob, you and I, like a mind melt. Your mind to my mind. Perfect. That was a bad call because now it's not in a folder. Dang. Yeah, that's bad. Let's make let's do that then and call it temple. Sometimes these things end up in their own folder. Sometimes they don't. Now they do. So temple gone. Havana street thing, extract all into that. And maybe we can just go and say Havana, right? Will it work? Yes, it works. English Cottage has a bit of a weird file name here, I've got to be brutally honest. I think English Cottage.zip Adil Dosyanin Kopiasi. Maybe we're just going to go and change that to zip. How's that? Can we then extract it? Do you think? Can we? And we're calling it English Cottage. Does that work? Yes. Oh my. This is great. The junk extension. Okay, excellent. This is fun. J unzips. I like it. I'm glad I can share this with you. Yeah. So while this is doing its thing, I can tell you a little bit more about my new streaming setup. Traditionally, I was streaming with an old, fairly old workstation that did the trick, and it was in a different room, so it didn't really matter. But it's a PC that I'm using here is not the same PC that I'm streaming from, so it was a separate PC. And I thought it's time to upgrade and migrate, so I had more equipment that I could use for that, and I got it all ready. And then I realized, hey, I also have a new monitor, which is a really nice XP Pen Artist Pro display. And the awesome thing is I can now draw on this thing with a pen, and that is really handy because it means I have one less piece of equipment to facilitate in my fairly limited desk space. So In so doing, I thought, hey, I could actually go and capture my screen in 4K, but my old capture card, which was an Elgato HD60 Pro PCM CIA card, or PCIe card, didn't do that. It couldn't capture that high resolution. It could down res it, but it couldn't capture 2K or 4K. So I thought, hey, I'll go and invest into new equipment. And in so doing, I'm gonna make my new Mac Studio my streaming computer. So that is now quieter, uses less energy, and can handle an extreme amount of data. And I'm thinking this is great, and it's quieter. That's why I'm not using the other PC that I had previously thought I'm going to use for that. So there we go. That's that. Which that brings me back to the point: why is my audio not working properly? Why can't I stream music currently? Because Mac makes it ever so slightly difficult to do that. Cyberpunk Rooftop. That's the one. And I think then we have it all, don't we? Cyberpunk Rooftop, English Cottage, Havana, Temple, and the Wetland Sanctuary. Perfect. That is all I want to have a look at. I mean, at least 2 of these today, so. Me too, Nate. And the thing is, I held off on it on the pen display because it was too expensive, flat out. And I always wanted a Cintiq, and I could never afford one. The only thing that I came close on is, buy an Apple Pencil and draw on the iPad. But of course, that's tiny and it's not desktop apps. And I got so used to my Wacom Intuos tablets that I thought, hey, that's perfectly fine. But every time I take it out, it means I have to go and reposition my keyboard, make my few pencil strokes, and then put it back and away again. It's never in a place where I can just go and use it, pick up and use. And that's bad. So this one, they had that on Amazon just before Christmas for an extremely good price of $650 US. I think it was $899 was the list price. And then you apply a $270 coupon or something. And I thought, I need kind of a new, larger monitor anyway. So even if it sucks as a pen display, I can just use it as a normal monitor. And thankfully, it doesn't suck. So that's good. So yes, very, very cool. I think, Bob, the reason why they have a deal on this model is because I think in the next few months, a 4K version of the XP Pen might come out. So this is only 2K, and it's perfectly adequate for what I'm doing. But I think the Huawei and I think Wacom, they have 4K versions of their stuff out now, and I think they're just clearing the warehouse with that. I think that is take it with a grain of salt. I don't, of course, know this, but I think that is what it is all about. All your daughters are your favorite daughters. Yeah, that's a good one. My uncle always called me his favorite nephew, and it's because I was his only nephew. So it was by default, I guess. Yes, you need to rub it back. And I've read reviews that somebody who was using Wacom for years, and he was starting to he tried out the XP Pen Artist Pro, and he said, well, it's not a Wacom, is it? And he got a bit of flack for that, because what he's bemoaning is basically if you use this thing 12 hours a day, then he says you might have some, Wacom might be better. No one's doubting that. But for somebody who's an occasional casual user, perfect for this. It's an improvement on the resolution. It's an improvement on the color gamut. I have to date used the cheapest ever monitors ever on my setup. And can't really say how color accurate any image was that I was ever producing. The only monitor that really saved my bacon was the 27-inch Mac Thunderbolt display, but it's also 10 years old and I don't have room for it here. And so yeah, that's basically, I can't hook it up to a PC. That's the problem. So let's just have a look. If I go casually to the browse and then go to kind of here, and shall we start with the rooftop? I say we will. This project must move with a different version of Unreal Engine. We're not telling you which one. You just got to trust us. It's different to the one you're using. Thanks. I'm going to go and convert this in place because I like living on the edge. What's the one that does 3D calibrates? Don't know, actually. I'm not sure. There are, you can do this technically with every monitor. You can color calibrate every monitor with the little USB device. Some are called spiders with a Y, but that's just, I think that's just the manufacturer, and it's a thing that works with the software that generates your color profile. So if you want color consistency and accuracy, you can go and calibrate your monitors. You can technically do it with every monitor, but cheaper monitors don't reproduce the full color spectrum that is necessary to be useful. So that's partly the problem, especially with LCD monitors. Black is usually a dark gray, washed out, no contrast. Colors are kind of, yeah, I mean, there is color, but is red really the red? Most cheap monitors, they don't actually have, they don't show you all the colors that are in an image. So often you see in Photoshop, things like that, you see like a stepping, if you have a gradient, and you'd see a stepping where you see basically quantization effects, where you see red and then almost like a GIF where you then see the next shade of red and there's a very distinct color. And that's not actually in the image, that it's just the monitor that can't resolve all these colors. So if you think about 16.7 million colors, and your monitor can maybe show, I don't know, half of that, then you see things that are approximated. And that can happen. We're still preparing shaders. That is good. That is good. This is what it looks like. Do you know, I gotta say, it's been a while since I've looked at Unreal Engine because of the move and all. It's the first time I'm back in it. This is nice. Like, they give you this background as well. What is that, I wonder? Is that geometry? Are those planes? Oh, okay. Yeah, I get you. Nice one. That is how they've made the background here. That's quite nice. So they're just cubes here. But brilliant, because that's all you need for something where the action is really here. So this looks like it's a bit of a food court. And look, you got all these nice little lighting effects in here. So very, very nice. Ooh, it's super immersive. That, I think, is that chromatic aberration? It is, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Sometimes Unreal Engine also has a thing where you have an overlay, like you could have a dirt overlay, but that doesn't change. So these effects here, if I'm looking at that, they actually do change. So very nice. So this would be nice to just do this with the camera. Either that or follow somebody who's walking through the market, and then imagine all kinds of people selling wares, having discussions. Like we have vendors here. Maybe somebody can have a hot dog. That is nice. Also fruit. That's nice. Oh, the 3D Connection mouse. Yes, that is something different. That is something that helps you navigate 3D space. So yeah, that's what the 3D Connection is for. I used to have one, by the way, back in London many, many years ago. Good hardware, gotta say, but it really takes some getting used to. You're almost better off trying to learn how to navigate properly with a mouse and keyboard or a game controller. There's so many little gadgets that you can buy. One is like the Connection. They have several versions, and one looks pretty much the same as a mouse, but it's round, and you go and put your hand on there, and then you go move forward, backward, sideways, and you can rock and manipulate the camera that way. And that is kind of cool. But another one is about, I think, $1,000, and that has like an attached keyboard to it, and you can go and press buttons and execute functions there. I have one for Clip Studio Paint, which I don't have with me here, but it's called the TabMate controller, and it's like a handheld device for your left hand, or for the hand that you use where you're not using your mouse, and you can then rotate the canvas, change brushes, change brush settings, while in the other hand you have a pen and then you draw with it. So sometimes while you're drawing, for artists it's a little tricky to rotate the canvas, and that's what this thing makes easier. You can scroll through brushes, change materials. Downside is it only is for Clip Studio Paint. Hey, this is nice. I'm liking this already. And that would be this here. I would just go and move around here and then have people. That'd be kind of cool. But sometimes occasionally we can have a wide shot, maybe something like this to show the whole thing. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Just have something like one here, and then just have stills from different perspectives here. Control and a number just goes and saves these as shortcuts. Somebody can do stuff up here, or we can just go and have a little conversation up here, 5, and then maybe we've got something going here. And then I can go and switch between these things, and that would be something like like Jay's Saloon, and then just go on a loop like this. That would be good, wouldn't it? I'm thinking. 549. Woohoo! Space Mouse, that's the name for it, exactly. Indeed, Leo, this is exactly what I was thinking. Just send over people, and then also see if I can go and, this is like the huge workflow then, go and convert DAS people in outfits to iClone, apply animations like that, bring them into Unreal Engine, and boom, Bob's your uncle, Betty's your aunt. Canvio. I don't think I know that manufacturer. Let me go save this, and let's have a look at another one. Control R to turn real-time off. I think, can my computer handle this? Yeah, sure. Right, this is exactly what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Also, I need a new title sequence, I think. I want to get away from the cinema one that I currently have, only because it's rendered in Blender. And even though that's still cool, that's nothing wrong with that. I think we can probably go make it a little bit more modern and just upgrade it. This is still 2 years old, 3 years old, I think. Browse to the next thing in the extravaganza. English cottage, Havana. Let's skip the English cottage. Let's do Havana. Or convert in place, yes. La Habana, as the locals call it. Not that there's anything wrong with Blender, but yes. No, Blender is still very, very cool. Blender is still my favorite, even though some of the Blender 4 design has changed a little bit. Have you seen that? When you apply modifier, for example, you don't have a massive list anymore. You have 4 choices, and then each of these expands another set of things. So you have to think about what is a subdivision surface modifier these days. I think you should have walk of characters. Yes, I think so too. I think so too. Social moves. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to this. Really populating that scene. Also because it's a little bit more open than the diner, in which I've tried that earlier. So they'll get used to it, There's some different shortcuts as well. Blender's changed some shortcuts around. It's part of updating things. As things grow, you sometimes have to tidy things up. So compiling shaders 4,000. Dang, brother, that's cold. How's the new year been treating you? Tell me all about it while I pour myself another cup of coffee. Yeah, so part of why I've changed to recording on a Mac is because the Mac is quieter when it's recording and a bit more powerful, but also because it has this it's an insane beast, that thing. It has this native H.264 and 265 encoding and decoding in hardware, so it doesn't get warm when it apparently can do something like, I don't know, 40 4K streams in parallel. That's insane, and it doesn't even use up power for that. It's like we're talking, I think, maximum 300-400 watts when it's under load, and it's never under load. It's crazy. Whereas my this PC here, the GPU alone is sort of 350 watts under load, and each Xeon CPU is about 120, 130 under load. So yeah, the thing gets hot and heavy. Oh, okay. This is what you're doing right now, mechanical music, transitioning from Unity Unreal. I can imagine. It's one of those things that why are you transitioning, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, Unity, it's been in the press. I hear that, but it's still not a bad platform, is it? I mean, I've looked at it once before I started Unreal Engine, and for me, the experience as a newcomer to game engines was I checked out Unity, I checked out Unreal Engine, and Unreal Engine just spoke to me on so many more levels than Unity did. Like Unity, the registration was terrible, the whole installation was really daunting, and when I finally opened the application, it didn't help me in any way at all. It just said, go do it, user, and I'm thinking, I haven't spent the last 12 years studying computer science. I'm sorry, I have zero idea what this means. And Unreal Engine said, hey, use a template, try these, and dig into the code and be happy with it. I'm thinking, ooh. So it was more engaging for me as a newcomer. And Shader Model 6 is required to use virtual shadow maps. Please enable them in here. We will do that. SM6. This is what I said earlier on the Discord to Henry 1850. There we go. That's exactly what I said. Sometimes this can happen, and you just have to go and switch that on. That and virtual texture support. Those are the two things that sometimes you just have to enable. Oh, you wanted to try MetaHuman. Yeah, got you. Right. Yeah, 64 gig of RAM is almost, if you're doing 3D stuff, that's almost like a good standard to have. 32 is almost not enough anymore these days. Except if you're on the new Mac hardware, the Apple Silicon, I think it works a little bit different there. But if you use Windows PCs, I think if you're doing 3D work, 64 is a very good thing to have. And up, if you can afford more. Get more. MOAR. SM6. Vulkan desktop. Yay. No. This one here. D3, D12 targeted shader formats. Yes. And Vulkan targeted shader formats. We don't really need that. But why don't we enable it anyway? We don't do anything for Linux and thingamajig. We just do that. I think this is the only one that you need to enable. We don't need the movie render queue. And I think now we need to go and restart this thing. And we will. This is what the Havana street looks like. So we do have it on both sides. There is a tool also by Leartes that I've been meaning to try out, which is called it's kind of a level building tool. And sometimes you don't get great demo scenes with assets. This one's kind of almost half of an example of that. So you get this impression, but of course what you can do is you can make the street longer, you can make more streets and all that, but it becomes daunting if all you have is things like this, and then you'd have to go and put all these things together manually. And there is a tool by Leartes that makes this a lot easier. So on one hand, you could go and select all the parts that make up this building and turn them into a blueprint so that you have that, and you can duplicate that, and then have a corner building and make that easier. But another thing is with their tool, you define what are the sides, what are the windows, what are the doors, and then you just literally draw it out, and you draw out your levels that way. So that's pretty cool, and I wanna try that out as well. Yeah, so this reminds me a little bit of the Venice scene that we had here. So if we make this a little longer, we could literally go and build a scene like this, where we have an occasional car that goes by, and then do we have cameras here? Oh yeah, we've got some. Obviously, those are no good. So the ones I would put in. I would probably get rid of this unless we have a bird's eye view. We might not have that. And then I would just have maybe one from here. And this is where we need to extend that street over here. So control 1, and then we can have one from here. Put some lights in the bottom, in the backgrounds here. Control 2. Then we can maybe have something in the background here. But we need to build all that. And sometimes, like good projects, they're sort of ready to go with a much larger scene where you might walk around. But the assets are good, so they're there, and you just need to duplicate them. Matthew uses 64 gig. Yeah, that's good. That is very good. I have a laptop with 64 gig of RAM, and that is pretty cool. I can upgrade to 128. I might end up doing that if ever I need to, if I run into issues there. So Havana Street, and oh, just to see that this says Los Nardos, Comida Criolla and Italiana. What does it say on here? Do we have the same thing? I think it's different assets actually. Yeah, it's inspired by the same idea, but it's different assets, so it's not the same by thing. I like the clothing here on these things. This, we could have a lot of fun with that. Just take this as inspiration and then go and make that happen here. They've got some things here. You could just throw those over with Marvelous Designer there and utilize this and put some clothing over that. Kind of cool. We call these things balconies here when they're such slim balconies. And I've got some really nice cars in DAS, like from the 50s and 60s, like really large cars. They would fit in well here. Yeah, very nice. Some flower pots here, like stuff like that. It's really nicely done. And this as well. You can grab that from the mega scans. South Beach Story, I like it. I think Steve 3D Backdoor 3D, he found Ocean Drive on one of the marketplaces. I forgot where that was, and I was thinking of getting it, and then I was thinking of building it. Yeah, here, this is kind of nicer. It's almost like you want to buy this and then merge the two together. This is nice, and the street's kind of nice, and the palm trees here. Merge the two together. I might put that on my wish list, which I need to be logged in for. Okay, fine, no worries. All right, it's fine. Let's restart later, and in fact have a look at the next packet. You gotta have those cars, yes. Use Substance Painter to make them a little bit more aged. Add a bit of rust here and there. I've tried paths in Substance Painter literally only yesterday, and that's going to make my life a lot easier. When the feature was introduced, I was really happy about this, and it's still going to take a little of getting used to. But what I always wanted to do is draw a path and then tell Substance Painter make stitches here where I define it, and I'm almost at that point. I'm almost at that point. Havana Temple. Let's look at the temple. I don't even recall the temple, but let's look at that. Convert in place. I like it. Project requires the asset cleaner plugin, which could not be found. Hey, would you like to disable it and continue? If you do, you will no longer be able to open any assets created with it. If not, the application will close. There should be a third option. I don't know. Let's say yes. Fine. I don't even know what that asset thingy magic does. Do it. Come on, yes. Very good. Did we see any buffering or anything like that? OBS is saying everything is fine, but I just wanted to make sure. It looks like everything's rocking and rolling. No, good stuff. Oh, Temple is part 1 and 2. Ah, ay, caramba. Manage plugins. We're okay. This is happening now. Dang, now that we've said it. That's bad, isn't it? as ein buzzend temple, buzzend lesson levels. This, what is this? This is the overview sample scene. Let's have a look at that. This is my favorite part actually about having bought something like a big bundle. You really want to check out what it comes with. Repaired painted vertex colors in 0.9 seconds for so many components and blah. Resave map to fix. Tell you what, Unreal Engine, you do it. Don't tell me about it, just go do it. Just tell me, yeah, I fixed something. Oh, this is the temple. Oh, yes, I remember that. I remember this. I may already have this asset or one very similar to it. I think it's actually similar. It's not this exact one. Do you remember that when we made like hundreds of Quinn mannequins that were all erratically walking around here? It was very similar, but it was more like a stylized version of this. Very nice for backdrops, this. Very nice. Very nice. This might be good for another project I'm working on. That is great. 30 bucks! Exclamation mark Leartes if you want to pick it up. I don't know when the offer ends. Bob, do you happen to remember? Because I don't. 30 bucks for all these assets and many, many more. And you cry if you want to. Exactly. It's your party and you cry if you want to. Very nice. And you just put some, foliage or desert type things in the background. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so what we need would be something. Can we open this? Is this openable? No. Not so much. Not without intervention. These are all proper blueprints, are they? Are they built that way? No, they're groups. I get you, buddy. I get you, buddy. That's that is then listen here. Actually, it's in allow group selection. No groups, because then the door is. I see. I had kind of hoped that we could open the doors here, but that is fine. Yeah, it looks like you can't open the doors. What are the scores, George? Doors? You can't open the doors. That's okay. Fine, we could still use something like that. I'm looking kind of for something like a corridor. Okay, February the 1st. Card, February 2nd, okay. February 1st, 2nd, okay, so soon then. I do not see the cat. Where's the cat? Is it in this level? Is this the box? Cat with a box? There's bananas in a box. That's nice. Oh, and chat. Oh, that! Even cuter. Okay, so this is the temple. Also not bad. I'm going to go close this down. Having forgotten to resave the map. Dang, Jay, what are you like? There's more of them. They keep multiplying. That is very nice. Nate, tell me, if you're still there, what was I remember having done this on my old Mac, the Intel-based Mac. There was a little plugin I could install that would allow me to capture, on the Mac, to capture its audio output, like its own desktop output that we can do on Windows, no problem. What was that called again? Was that called Black Hole or something? So true. Wetland Sanctuary environment. That's the last one we're going to have a look at. Oh, look at that. There's like 60 million folders within a folder. Let me just go and rectify that because my OCD is playing up. That's not something I could potentially live with. Yes. Of course, Windows isn't going to like it if I have something that goes like that. Yes. And then we go and do that. Yes. And then we go and do that. And then it's only one level deep. Ha ha ha. Soundflower, that could be it. I don't recall what it was. It could be, it was something insane like black hole. I don't really recall. I do. Have you done it? Because that is what I'm doing as well. The PC that was supposed to be my new streaming PC is a dual boot Linux Windows PC. Officially doesn't support Windows 11. So my idea is for that to be my NAS basically, and that works really, really well. Oh, you want it to, but ... Mine's running Fedora, and it's really cool because you can use it as a headless display. You can install Copilot on it, and you have to hardly ever log into the thing and see it attached to a monitor. You can always do that with no machine installed, that's fine. But it's really easy to just use Copilot, and then you can just use the port 1990 on that IP address and log in and make sure it's working fine, apply software updates and shut it down and stuff. You have to find a different solution. That is bad. Fedora is Linux, yes. What's happened, Nate? Yikes. This is just the overview. Don't panic just yet. This is not the actual level. It's fine. But that looks interesting. Good bump detail on this. Wetland Sanctuary. This is the asset overview. There's a sequence level and there's an asset sample map. Let's do asset sample map and then we do the sequence level afterwards. Nate, that's terrible. Ouch. Didn't your government tell you not to put the heaters on anymore and just live without heating until August? And then you can use them again, but you don't have to. And then from October, you have to switch them off again. That's what they said, isn't it? You can also, if you find the fuse, just put a really thick copper wire in its place, and then it'll be fine. They did though. I'm not. This is true. It's true. We were months ago, almost years ago, actually years ago now. We looked at an apartment, and it was in a fairly good area, and the rent was fairly low, and it had a really good layout. And I was thinking, hey, this is awesome, except the kitchen looks a little bit like 1960s and stuff. And Julia took me aside and said, we can't have this apartment. And I said, why not? I've got this great streaming area here. We've got a nice living room. We've got a balcony. It's a really cool area. It's really close to Biscayne Bay, where as it says in Steely Dan, where the Cuban gentlemen sleep all day. And she said, no, we can't do that. If the kitchen looks like that, you know what the electricity is going to be like? And you're going to wire up your 5 super powerful workstation computers? No, she said. 50s. Yes, it was more like 50s. That's true. Oucharoo. Yes, Biscayne Bay. Which song is that from? Extra credit if you can remember what song that's from. Is it just a breaker with a lever, or does it physically take out a fuse, Nate? Resave map? Sure. Resaving the map now. Ah, nice. So this is the asset sample map. Ooh, look at that. What about this? Look at the fog. Yes. Now this is just like Saloon, isn't it? all we need to do is give it a little TLC here at the end so that we don't see this. The light's already perfect. This is already flashing here. This is great. And maybe home, hell, there's gonna be some kind of, you know, J Saloon type thing. Is there anything inside? We probably know it's unfurnished, as they say. It's unfurnished. But this is great. Look at that. Does the foliage move? There's reflections on the water and stuff. Yes, of course it is. Simple material effect. This, then imagine rain. I'm already in love. This is great. Ooh. Ooh, easy 3D TV. How you doing? It's true, yes, that particular asset won't work in Unreal Engine. It'll work great in Unity. They had the same asset on for Unreal Engine a little while ago, and it was called Souls-like Fantasy Castle, wasn't it? So it does exist. Fantasy Castle environment. Was it this one here? I think it was. That's the one. So it does exist. I have it already, and it's great. Actually, it's a really, really nice asset. It was available on the Humble Bundle at one point. Yes, but if you have this with this particular Extravaganza bundle, it does not work in Unreal Engine. You can technically export these things out, but it's a huge amount of work to get the assets and the maps out and then reset them all up. Worth reaching out to Leartes and saying, hey, bought your bundle, it's awesome. Any chance I can have, you know, this for Unreal Engine because I don't use Unity? Worth reaching out. Maybe they make it happen. It's a really nice indoor-outdoor combination, this thing. So yeah, very, very cool. The plane, Jay, the plane. Good to see you, buddy. This looks very much like Elden Ring here. I remember fighting in environments like that, dying multiple times before giving up on that game altogether. So yeah, very nice. Very great for environments. And everything's set up, lights, particle effects. It's really cool. It's really cool. I was going to have this was a test map that I used it for. Do you know, don't give up on the NAS. Maybe can't you plug it in somewhere else? Since it's a NAS, it doesn't really matter where it's plugged in. Can't you plug it in a different room? That'd be kind of mean if you do that and then your mom sits in that room, all of a sudden it's lights out or heaters out. It's bad, man, bad. Yeah, so if I were to do something like in Jay's Saloon, then all we need is something around here for the background. Oh, look, it's got this crazy thing at the back there. This is also nice here. Looking through that, I think a few more particle effects would be cool. Either more fog, that's another possibility. I think the light, the mood, I'm already pretty happy with. I might just leave that. Why don't we try this? Before we do anything rash to this, let me go and make... Oh, there's another one, sequence level. Let me go and just save this and see what sequence level looks like. It could be that that's the cinematics that they've made for this. Might be nice to have a look at that. Mosquitoes, exactly, that'd be good. Something that you know, buzzes around the lights. Also, maybe more stuff, so I can see myself maybe seeing something like, ooh, look at that, that's more decals. And there is more fog. How did they do the fog, by the way? Fog planes, right? Is it? Yes. You get a product like that from William Faulkner for $8.99. if you want to use this to add it to your own scenes, it's called Easy Fog. And those are those planes. So if you wanted to go and just have another one in the background and just go and make this larger, whoops. Just put all the amount of fog that you need in here. Just make it as foggy as you like. But the deal with these things is they're extremely cheap to render. So that's why using these things is a really, really good idea. This is a different level now, right? Sequence level. We don't have any actors in our, hard to say, sequence 1. What might that be? I mean, we can have a look at it and see if it's anything groovy. Oh, I see. They've used that for the trailer. That's nice. So we can go, I think we can probably go and make a master sort of sequence here and put all of them together and just edit them together. We can probably do that. Alligators, wow. Now that is a nice idea. In fact, let's make that happen. Let's make a new level sequence. We could make one with cuts, but I'll just use a normal one. And drag that sort of into the level here. Like here, I'll put this into a little folder called Cinematics. And I will also open it. And then we're going to go make this a bit larger, like 30 frames can stay for now. And I'll go and add a camera cuts track to this. And then I'll go and say subsequences. That's what I do, isn't it? Subsequence track. And we don't know if we wanted to start with that, but we'll put them around loose, and then we'll go and do the timing here. I'm sure there's a way to do this like in Premiere too, that you say select the following sequences and turn them into a new master sequence. I'm sure there is. But I have no idea how to do that. And then we'll see which one of these is good for an establisher. What happens to this? This doesn't have a camera cuts track in it. Nope, that one's empty. So 8 we don't really need. What happens to 9? 9 is this. No, 9 is also, what does that do? That is good, but it's not animated. Oh, we'll take care of that. That's cool. And that's, I think they're all 60. So let's go set this to 60. Then that goes away. Number 9, and then number 10. Oh, I see. Those are just static ones. I see. See if we can go and push in a little bit there. It is. It's usually that's not quite the case, but the funky thing about this is you can now go and do something like this, and then you can't do dissolves in Unreal Engine. At the moment, I think they might be introducing that at one point. And if you wanted to, like this timing here, that sucks a little bit. You can just go and move that in a bit further here, or you go and go in this and you think, hey, this is a great shot. I wish it was longer. You can go and make that a bit longer. So if you find that's a bit fast or whatnot, you can just go and make that longer. Let's say 600 frames. Do that, and then this is the only transform we have. So let's go and move that out a bit. Extend the camera cuts track. Go back. And now it's reasonably longer. Like so. Now we can come in even later here. Well, come in later. There we go, while the camera's already moving. And now the shot looks a bit better. Needs a star wipe, yes. Hey, what doesn't need a star wipe, huh? Loving my good old 80s video effects. And this one's static, but we can move in. So if we just do that, so camera cuts track, it's a good idea to move it outside the actual cut so that Unreal Engine doesn't get totally confused. There's also one thing, if you're annoyed by this, when your playhead can go outside these marks here, there is a thing under this wrench icon here. If you say, hey, no, that's not it. If you go under this this gear icon, in fact, you can say keep playhead in playback range while scrubbing. That's a really nice tip, because then this can't happen. So these guys will be locked in there. And that's quite nice. Oh, and this happens at the beginning here because I'm still looking at my camera cuts track. So if I wanted to look at this exact camera, I can go do this and switch to this camera, and then I can see just what this thing isolated looks like. So if I go and say transform, set a keyframe here, and then here, I'll just go and just move in like this a little bit. I should have set to auto keyframe here. And now we have a little movement there. And if that's not fast enough, we just go and bring the keyframes outside the range, and that means when we cut to it, it already subtly moves here. I think this might be a little slow still. So we can either go and make the sequence shorter, or just make this a bit faster. Put this here, put that there. Nice, a little bit of subtle movement, and we already saw. So this, you go back to the master track this way. Shift C will switch to the camera you're currently looking at. And there we go, that's nice. And then we do the same here. That doesn't have any cuts either, but I think if we just go and camera cuts track comes out here and goes in here. And then we go and select this camera, then we go make this here that. And then at the end of that, with auto keyframe on, we just go and just subtly zoom into that. Perfect, now we have that. Let's go and take these out. That might be a little slow, but also that might be groovy, especially if we have a lot of just for mood building here. Let's make that the first shot, in fact. It does. I think the neon sign says home, the flickering one, but somebody painted hell on it because, you know. So funny, guys. Like Kurosawa, right? Exactly. Like Kurosawa, that's the one. And we totally need cricket sounds, I agree. So I'm also thinking that this is actually an ideal shot for the beginning here, this wide shot. So let's go make that happen. We'll go and move these things over here. Oh yes, this is another, I forgot about this, that we can do this to move them into one another. It's an Unreal Engine 5 feature. I forgot about that. So we'll take that out, put that into the beginning. Shift C and boom. Dude. Cricket sounds. I'm thinking rain. Oh, that wasn't good. Oh, what happened there? That's terrible. We need to totally work on that. Oh, yeah, that as well. I think we need to just shorten the camera ins there. It totally shows the repositioning there. Not good, man. Not good. Not like Kurosawa. Jay's Hideaway. Possibly. Well, that's just, you know, a situation of badness, man. I think it's because Unreal Engine has gone and put these things into one another. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, it does this. It just does this. That's bad. No, don't do that. I don't know why it does that. I think it's trying to be helpful without actually being helpful. It happens, doesn't it? So we begin with that, and then we go to that, maybe. To this here. And also that could maybe be a little bit longer, I'm thinking. Then we could go to that afterwards. And then we could go to this. Yes, I like it. I like it. Let's go to that. Then I feel like another wide shot would be now maybe this. Or just drive home again where we actually are. So maybe that. Followed, yeah, could be by that. I'm down with that. Yes, yes. Followed by this. I'm down. I'm down. Open what? And then we have that. Yep, I like it. And then in the end we end with home. I'm convinced this is going to be great. I'm convinced of the greatness. And actually this, I think I might make that a little... Hello? Are we moving at all here? It's not moving. Oh, because I'm not looking at a dot. There we go. It is actually moving. I'm just not that happy with the camera positions. Let's go and do this from here to sort of here. And call it Jay's home. We'll just need to make something happen in the background here so we don't see the edge. And then we stop. Perfect. I love it. Perfect. So the only thing, put this keyframe slightly further out. And then we go and just make that a cut longer. And then we leave it there. Perfect. Sorted. Fog, yes. Fog. I'm thinking, and just as a test, I'd love to see what happens if we look at, if we add ultra-dynamic sky to this, and see, not so much to change the lighting mood, but just to change the, to add a bit more volumetric fog to this. I'm thinking that might be nice. See if we can make it happen. Yes, fog, exactly. No guarantee this is going to work, but it's totally worth trying. Ultra dynamic sky. Have we all paid attention? Do we know what this project is actually called? Frog fog. That is not what it's called. Wetland Sanctuary. There we go. Wetland Sanctuary. Add. I saved, yes. For once, I saved. I know it's rare, but I think I've saved. Nate, you gotta pay 1500% more attention. Complete. I love it. That is, that's good. So, Bob Sater gets an extra slice of birthday cake. Yeah, I like it. Birthday cake. We don't have any cake, do we, Julia? Cake would be great. We don't have any cake. Oh, we have muffins. We could have muffins later. Right. Gonna close the sequencer down for a New York minute here. New folder 2. What? Well, new folder 2 contains new folder 3. Guys, what? We don't really know what any of these things are. Louis Extras. There's lighting. This, I think, was a Kit Bash challenge that they made this in a very short amount of time. Look at the reflections in the water. That is just cool. Okay, let's see if we can make, if we can add. How did they do the lighting here, though? I may have to take this bit out here, exponential height fog. Let me go make a copy of this actually, before I add any other bits and pieces in here. I'll go and make my own maps folder, or call it actually J's maps. J's maps, and then this level here, I'll go and save that in there. J's Wetlands, I like it. Road trip everyone to Art's house, I like it. That sounds like a great offer, Art, I like it. Okay, lighting needs to be rebuilt here. If ever you get this message and you think, hey, maybe I need to go over to the build menu and then build lighting, don't do that. Just press the play the project button and then stop playing the project, and then Unreal Engine is happy again. So nobody needs to actually rebuild any lighting. It's just all a lie and stuff. J's Wetlands. So we need to go and remove this height fog here, and I might actually also replace, because we don't have anything in the sky here, let me go and replace all these things. Player start, we can also delete. Post-process volume, I think I might keep. Skylight, and that's spotlight. What does that do? That is actually good. Let's go and keep the spotlight here. And let me go and put ultra dynamic sky in the mix and hope things don't break. Ah, nice. Now it's in the day. Obviously we don't want it in the day, but we're gonna go and take care of that. Move this to lighting, and then we have the weather. That'll take care of fog and volumetrics. That goes into lighting. And these two I might go and move into a new folder called UDS. And then I suppose this spotlight also goes into static lights here. Reflection captures we're probably okay with. And now it's raining. So there's rain effects on this stuff already, but there's no puddles. So I could hook that in a moment if we like the rain effect. First, let's see project mode. Let's go and switch this to cinematic offline, because that's what we want to do with it. And then we'll change this to nighttime again. I'm trying to see where the moon is, if it is in fact in the sky, or if we have a sky sphere. Of some description in here. Fog sheets, that's good. Oh, it could be that there's too much cloud cover in the sky. Was that maybe on weather? It was on weather, wasn't it? Yeah, that's what I meant. Manual weather state. Cloud coverage 0. Nice. The night sky. Here's the moon. Excellent. Rain. No. Dust Fog. More fog. That is so foggy we can't see the sky anymore. So maybe 7. That is nice. There's also something about volumetric fog. Volumetric fog particles. Enable volumetric fog. Let's do that. This is going to be a little heavier to calculate, but hopefully we're going to see more fogginess that blends in better with the fog sheets here. Let me go and switch those off actually. Just for now, that we can judge our fog. There's also, oh yeah, something else in regards to dust and fog. There's also dust. So that also gives that effect here. So maybe both of these things together might be funky. So then there was a section here, and I forgot where exactly now. It had to do something with fog. Was it this? I don't think it was. Was it? There's something that makes this really nice and thick, and you see these things literally like fog clouds moving. Gamebug Studios, how's it going? Wonderful to see you. Yes, UDS is so good. It's a really nice, it's such a nice, easy to use, relatively cheap thing. It's my go-to thing for all outdoor lighting bits and pieces. It also has a nice integrated documentation. So if you don't know where to go, you go to the README here, and then you right click that and say run editor utility widget, and then this comes up, and you can either search for something, or you just go and click here and then you read the documentation. It's really nice. It tells you how to get started. Everett has a Discord server that he uses to get back to you with problems, or you can email him, and he's really on the case, and he's constantly making improvements. And read through all this, and it tells you exactly how to use it, and also then how to hook into this programmatically. So there's like things you can set up, zones in your level that when the player walks in, that's when rain doesn't happen, for example, or things like thunderstorms and all kinds of things. I could in fact use this to figure out what I'm looking for. It's just I forgot what that was. What was it again? I'm pretty sure it was in volumetric. This is for dust and snow. We don't want to do that. Distance, that is also, maybe I'm on the wrong thing. It could also be in sky. That could be. What fog settings do we have here? Intensity, cloud strength, fog shadows. Exposure bias foggy. What does that do? Ah, yes. I see. That is what that does. Interesting. Foggy desaturation. Fog density. That's what I was looking for. Contribution daytime, nighttime multiplier. So at night you could have the fog multiplied more than during the day. Base height fall off. It's kind of also not what I'm looking for. Cloudy height fall off. Not what I'm looking for. Foggy height fall off. No. Scale total fog density. Volumetric fog. Yes, that's what we want. Use volumetric fog. All right. I was in the wrong thing. Off, on. Haha. This is easier to render, but this is much more funky. Fog distance. Make it really foggy. Moon volumetric scattering intensity. Render global volumetric material. Ooh, no, I don't know. Do we want to do that? No. Maybe. I can't tell. Oh, you've been doing animations in iClone. Well done. I need to get back into that. Really, Nate? What happened there? How dare they? Fog noise intensity and scale. Oh yeah, let's make that bigger. See if we can find these walking thick cloud pieces. There's nice little flashes here. Where was that? Speed scale. Extinction. Mask fog with weather masks. My goodness. Ground fog height. Make that higher. Make that lower. No, it doesn't work. Threshold ground hardness, man. I used this in a project. It was like a dark, spooky forest, and I got that effect, and I've forgotten what I needed to change in order to make it look exactly like that. That is a shame. Well, I'll figure it out for next time. Let me see if I can make the rain work on the plane here, because this is just a plane. It's not it is not something that this here, water, there we go, water, that's what it's called. Good to know. On the water, SM basic plane material instance water. Let me go and hook that up. So that is the water. We could replace that, but I'm okay. Let's put the master material and we only have base and roughness here. Okay, perfect. Let's go and put that in here. Water surface rain ripples. That is basically what we need, isn't it? Let's go and do that. Normal intensity, and then the normal comes out. Nice. Do we have normals? Ah, we don't. Dang, brother. Wet weather effects. Let's do that. This is kind of the older version. And what you do is you hook that into before the material gets created here. So base color goes in here and then comes out here. And then the only other thing is roughness that we need. So roughness goes into here and then roughness goes out here. And that is all. Interesting. Looks like we don't have any normals on this. And that hasn't done anything because it's not currently raining. So on that, let's put rain on. It's a shame we don't have normals here. So the effect is applied, but it's not exactly what I want to see. I do see some volumetric bits and pieces happening here. So that is good, but the water ripples, that would be ideal if we could get those going as well. I do like that. Ooh, nice, Gamebug. I like it. I like it. Do you have some on your YouTube channel so I can check them out? I always love to see what the rest of the community are making. Let's see. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Maybe we can go and add water surface rain droplets. So since we don't have anything going in here, let's just put the normals into there. See if that works. And ripple scale, default value is 150, and this, there are default values for this. Okay. Let's see. We can always play with that. Water ripples on the static plane of water. All right. This is not bad at all. And this is with default values. We haven't even played with the values. Ooh, rain and fog, exactly. Excellent, excellent. I'm gonna go subscribe to your channel and just, you know, keep in the loop there. Let's see what happens when we play with the values, huh? Do we want to expose those as parameters? Are they already exposed as parameters? No. So I think the ripple scale, that was 150. So if we go and say normal itself is probably okay, 001, 001, that is that. I'm only doing this so I can go and convert these two parameters, and then I can go and adjust them outside of here. Convert to parameter, and we say water surface normals, and that is my default value. And then intensity was 1, so water surface intensity, and we'll make a default value of 1 here as well and pop that into here. And then we go ripple scale, that was 150, so once again 1150. Convert to parameter, water surface ripples scale. So these are just the default values. This is, again, makes a really good product. If you hover over this and you see what these things, what the default values are, that makes a big difference when you try to now override them. So if I go and save this now, and I go, this takes a bit of time to compile that. When I go to here, I should have them in here somewhere. There they are. And I could, if I'm even better, I could put them into a group here. So I'll call this one water surface, and then all of these go into the group called water surface. And if I do that, then they're all grouped together in the instance that we have on the water. There we go, water surface. So now we don't see a difference, but now I can also go and take this off and adjust these things in real time. Don't really need to see that. I can drag it off to a second monitor or something. So water surface intensity, what happens if we dial that up to 2? It makes this more. So there's another material here that we're going to tackle in the same way in a second. Then there's the water surface normals. So that was 0.001. But what happens if we put that to 0.5 or 0? Oh, 0, that does that. Good stuff. So that then 0.5, that does that. Interesting. Interesting. So I suppose we'll leave this well enough alone. And then we have the intensity we already had, and then the scale. So how about 1500? Yep, that's what that does. I get you. And 150 is the default value, and 500 makes them larger. .75 makes them smaller. So whatever the scene requires, I kind of dig that. Yeah, because the scale just wasn't perfect, there was it? I have also heard of Lytro field cameras. There is a video by Crazy Ken's Tech Projects. He tells you all about him. I was this close to buying one when it came out, and I'm glad I didn't, because the results weren't all that overwhelming, to be brutally honest. The idea was, like with a normal SLR, you have to take a picture and you have to make sure the lens focuses on an object and then whatever's focused at that point gets, put on the picture. But Lytro, they capture the whole light field and you basically adjust the focus after you've taken the picture. And it was kind of a gimmick. I suppose also because shortly after, or at the same time, very capable smartphones came out and they all had fixed focus cameras and it was really not an issue anymore. So, oh, cool, you got it working. So you have one. That is pretty cool. I've never owned one. I've never played with one. Well, so the thing is, the camera doesn't do any processing. Is it like one of those square type sticks, like a tiny one? There was that, and there was one that looked a bit more like an SLR type camera. The camera itself doesn't do any processing, so as long as you take pictures and then take them from the camera, you have to use a software to then set the focal point. Yes, that's me exactly. The rectangle thing. Okay. Well, have fun with it. It's it's not often that we get to play with these types of things. Okay, let me go and put this to unlit and just switch my weather things off here so that I can take a look at the other things. So this here, oh, so it's a material effect. I get you. It looks a little bit as if these things here oh, that's just the normals then. Okay, I thought I could improve this a little bit. I guess I can't. Okay, fine. It's fine. It's fine. Does anything else need water effects? So there is one that can make droplets run down. And that'd be nice to use this because it is a heavy rainy thing here. My God, there's a lot of rain happening here. Let's see if we can make that happen on this wood column. Wood column is this material that has a master material, which is this. Wet weather effects. Apply dripping effect. So that needs to be enabled here. And then we can, once again, we can put all this into here when we make the material attribute. So lerp goes into base color. Let's go put that into here and that into there. Also, sometimes Unreal Engine crashes when you put these nodes in. So let's go and, save everything. Metallic. I don't think we have metallic here. No, we don't. Then we have roughness. That's this here, isn't it? Yeah, roughness goes into here. And that roughness goes into there. Okay, normal, that one's important. This one's the normal. Normal goes into here. And that goes into here. And then we have ambient occlusion. I don't think we have that either. So that's fine. So then the only thing we need to do is apply puddles. If this was a landscape material, you would apply the puddles here. But the dripping effect is what we need. So we need to go and make that a Boolean. No, that's bump offset. Static bool, that's it. And enable that, put dripping effect in here. And also make that, oh, we can't do that. Oh, get you. We can't convert that to a parameter. There's a trick that you have to use for this. You have to multiply it with kind of 1,0 value and turn that into a parameter. I don't know why, but let's see. Usually on good sets, they have this same master shader share multiple assets. So if I apply this, it should appear on multiple things, the dripping effect. And there it is. Dripping water, can you see that? That's insane. Ultra dynamic sky, I tell you, this is it's the go-to solution. It just, and you can do the same with snow cover and all kinds of things. It's very, very exciting. I was thinking that easy, exactly. The Warzone pack, some very, very nice effects. No, Art, it's in the one that I'm using here, the Leartes Extravaganza pack here. Exclamation mark Leartes gives you a link to that. It might be worth just picking that up, even if you're not currently using Unreal Engine. It is a really, really cool thing that we can have. We're gonna have so much fun with that. What else has dripping effects? Oh yeah, look at these things have dripping effects now as well. That is cool. Some of these, I love them if they'd have. I mean, now this is wet. It wasn't wet before. Isn't that cool? It's almost like this here. Is that a group? It's almost like I want this to have puddles now. And it looks at the surface normal to detect where it should be dripping. So obviously it shouldn't be dripping this way. It only drips along the sides, and it kind of does that. Crazy stuff. Not so bad. I'm gonna go and use the little boys' room, and then I will be right back. Stay tuned, my friends. And I'm back, everyone. And we're on the fart jokes. I leave the place 1 minute and we're doing fart jokes, man. Very cool. Very cool. I was thinking one other thing I'd like to have a look at is the post-process volume here. And that's just to get the exposure right. And I think it's kind of a make or break situation here. Post-process volume. We have 1 in here, and if I switch that off, you can see what the difference it makes. I might just go and switch the weather effects off just to exclude the rain here for a second and make no particles. But yeah, on and off, so you can really see what the difference is in regards to bringing out or not bringing out the fog. So let's have a look how theirs is set up and just take a quick look how we can also maybe make that a bit more exciting. So they've got things in MISC here, which is color grading LUT intensity. Can we dim that down a little bit? This, oh yeah, I see. LUT 1, how exciting. LUT afternoon texture. Oh, interesting. Daytime texture. Oh, actually. LUT is lookup tables. Yeah, excellent. Okay. Right. The one with the exclamation mark, maybe. No. Also totally okay. Not to use this at all, or dim it down. So I just wanted to see what they've got in here. Cameras in Unreal Engine, and this is super confusing if you're new to Unreal Engine. The post-process effect is a global object that can either affect an area in the level, or if you set it to infinite extent, it will have an effect on the whole level. And that's great if you want to apply a global color correction. But if you had something where the player goes underwater, you would then go and change the post-process volume, make everything bluer or greener. That's how you do that. And you can then detect if the player's in that, then apply it. What's really confusing about cinematics in Unreal Engine is that cameras can bring their own post-process volume, and they do by default. So if you make adjustments here and then you look at your cameras and you feel, why isn't any of my color correction applied? It's because they blend in their own post-process volume, and every camera can do that and does that by default. So you have to dial that out. So I'm going to go through my cameras and see if they in fact do that. I think under global, sometimes we can do nice effects with the contrast and the gamma if you make it either harder or lower. Since we want to convey the notion that there's a bit of fog in here, I'm just going to go and drag that up a little. So I'm changing the knee of the thing, contrast, and then gamma, the same thing. So you basically apply where more or less contrast happens. So this is before and this is after. So it's still the same contrast, but without it, this all looks a little harsh. Whereas with this applied, it looks a little softer. And also I'm buying that it's more foggy now. Shame we don't have the fog really sorted over here. I'd like for it to be a bit more foggy. Let's bring that back and add more fog to this. Also, the amount of fog particles I still haven't found the right value to really make it make it more foggy, especially here in the foreground. I might just put another one of those fog planes in here, which actually we've switched off earlier, didn't we? Yes, fog planes. I may have to go and just dial the intensity of those down, because although they look nice, with our color correction they're just a little bit much. So let's go and grab them all. And I think opacity is what I'm looking for, so 0.3, just make them blend in a bit. And then we just gotta add more. Background, foreground in the sky. Hard to see which one's which. I'm thinking maybe I'll grab this one here. And Alt left click to duplicate it, and I'll just make it a bit bigger overall, and just put it sort of in the background here. And then there's also, of course, Easy Fog that we can use for this. I might actually do that. My computer is annoying me because it's I have this new mouse and keyboard from Logitech that I can use on multiple computers, and when I hold Control and left click, it goes off the side of the monitor to the other computer. And in the old version of that software, there was an option to just switch that off temporarily from the taskbar. But of course, in the new version of the software, Logitech Options Plus, that is not possible anymore. So I might just temporarily disconnect my other computer, because that's the only thing you can do here to make that not work. Disable flow. I'd love it if we just have a shortcut, and then when I go and move these things like so, then I don't constantly get interrupted there. So that's quite nice. I think these fog planes don't behave like the ones I am used to. So let me go and bring in the other ones from William, which is called Easy Fog. There we go. And what was my project called again? Wetland Sanctuary. There we go. It isn't. No, it's not a vertical mass. It's this one. It's a Master 3S. It's called, and I have a matching keyboard with that. This is actually the second time I've bought them. The first time I had them in gray, and they worked okay already. But I had it with a keyboard that Logitech, in their infinite wisdom, no longer support. That was this one here, and it was called the Master MX Craft. That's the one. Craft it was called. And they thought it would be an awesome idea to include this, which is something you can click and you can dial, and give people a dial, which is great for volume. And apparently things like in Photoshop and Premiere you can dial things, and those used to work really well together. But this keyboard here is only supported with an older version of the software, which doesn't support all the features that they're bringing out of. So you basically have to buy a new keyboard to get the new version of the software, which is not as good as the old version of the software, which I wouldn't mind using. But the problem is that it is less reliable. It sometimes crashes, sometimes it doesn't do copy paste from one computer to another. It's one of those things. Oh, okay, that's clever. Yes, I needed this because I have 3 computers that I'm controlling with the same mouse and keyboard. Did I already copy that? I did, didn't I? EasyFog, yes, perfect. And then we go and put EasyFog into here. But speaking of the vertical, Julia has the vertical, the MX vertical. And that is quite nice. Indeed, yes, we have multiple personalities. We turn that this way, and then we do turn that this way because it's and then also we can go and put this on, so now it points local. Oops. So something like that, and then we go and make it larger. Whoops. And then further away. Whoops. Perfect. So now this, of course, isn't opacity-wise what we want. Let's suppose fog density it's called here. And then we'll just make a couple of exciting copies. Oh man, of this. And also change out the texture here. Oh, then also, did I enable that here? Yes, I did I? No, I don't think I did. Does it move? No, it's not. There is wind. Yes, no, yes. Put it on, and now it moves. Actually, that was wind, wasn't it? No, that's not it. There's a way to animate this. And I've forgotten how to do it. Maybe it was... Maybe that was actually it. Fog density, fading cast shadow. No. Wind controls. Might be that. Might be wind controls. Yeah, maybe it was wind controls, but I can't recall. Just to give a little bit of movement in there. He does explain it. I may have not exactly paid attention, but there we go. Now it's sort of moving. It is probably Boolean, so it only works with 1 and 0. And then you can put the wind speed down if it's too harsh. So 1, and then we'll put this to about 100. Oops. There. Now we have fog in the background here. Hey, this is not bad. Let me go and save this and then go back to our master sequence here and see what it looks like if we go and watch it. Can we not watch it? Why? Why do I not see the cameras anymore? Dang! So funny. Thank you, Easy. I appreciate that. Yes, Easy Frog by William Faulker. I don't know why I can't. Why don't I see my camera anymore? I've opened you. Right. We're looking at lock viewport to camera cuts. That's what I thought we're doing. Oh, it's because we can't see the camera. Oh, that happens sometimes. That happens sometimes. None of the cameras are spawnables as well. That's bad. So if this ever happens and you know the cameras are in there or that the objects that are red are in there, you can go into, I think, into this here and over to advanced and you say fix actor references and then that should do it. So now we can see it. Okay. Interesting. You gots to be a detective, man. All the time. So we got rain. Oh, come on. We got rain. We got fog. I can see more fog here. I'm thinking we probably need. Also, we need the preview with the cameras now. Come on. Not necessarily in the fully performant frame rate that we could get here. And then you should be moving, man. Come on. He can't do it. I don't know why he doesn't do it. Oh, I know, because we need to fix actor references and all these things. Oh, that's why. Well, let's go fix that now then. So this advanced fixed actor references, but also these cameras here, let's go and convert them to spawnables. And let's do that with all of them, in fact. So when we do that, they get created by the sequencer object when they're necessary. And that means when I load this thing in again, this won't happen again. Advanced fixed actor references, then with camera convert to spawnable. Now we're on this. Same thing. Okay, get you. I get you. Why this happens sometimes, I don't know. Unreal Engine just gets confused every once in a while. It just does. Spawnable. And then we have this. That's also broken. Fix. Oh my god, it doesn't work. Camera far. Well, which one was camera far then? I haven't deleted any, have I? Have I done that? Camera side far. Could be that? No, that's not something I've set up. We may have to reset that up then. The fog is called Easy Fog by William Faulker. Let me put a link into this here. Easy for no. You gotta search here, not where it says search. It's good to have multiple search options. Easy fog. That's the one. It's $8.99. It's really nice. There we go. Oh, we may have to set that camera up again. That's fine. That's fine. How about this one here? Can we fix that? Yes, that one worked. Oh, and also switch over to spawnable. So let's go and continue this tomorrow, I'm thinking, and see if we can, yes, that works, and see if we can get a nice little animation out of it, and also maybe vary up some of the camera angles and see if we can add more foliage in the background. So I think that's another session, and also work on the camera timing a little bit. I'm not entirely, I think we were very quick on making that happen here. To spawnable. It wasn't as advanced. Fix. I see that one doesn't work either. So I don't know why this happens sometimes. I've got one that's sign engine. So we do have that. So that is this, isn't it? So let's go and put sign engine. That is bad. Attach this one. It doesn't want to do it. Why not? I mean, clearly how can I assign actor, sign it like this? There, does that work? Perfect. It's kind of what we want. So I wonder if that works in the previous one as well. Convert to spawnable. The other one that didn't work, which was this one, wasn't it? Nope, that one was okay. How about this one? That one was also okay. This one was also okay. Wasn't there one that wasn't okay? But yeah, this one, camera far. What's this one? This was, I don't recall us setting that up. Well, we'll set that one up again because I don't recall any such camera here. I also don't know where it's gone. One of those things. You've been great. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm really looking forward to continuing this and to turn it into something like, like the Jay's Saloon, which obviously we're going to have a look at now because that's one of my favorites. Thanks so much, guys. I hope the audio was okay. I hope I'm going to get the music sorted as well eventually. Let's see. This is what we've made, and that's nice. Look at that wet floor, dripping effects, a lot of rain. Hopefully we can make more fog happen. And yeah, I'm thinking more of this grass and maybe some spooky trees in the distance, and that'll be nice. Oh yeah, also that's another thing I want to change. So this is home and hell is kind of cool, but let me see if I can make it Jay's water world or something like that. That'd be kind of nice. Also work on more shots like this. They don't have to move all of them, by the way, but it would be nice if we have something like this, or eventually have a shot from behind this. That would be kind of nice. Something like a panning shot here, because It's what makes it shine. Also, moon bigger. Let's make that just as a final thing here. Moon must be bigger. Ultra dynamic sky. We look for moon. Moon, and it was something weird that I always moon scale. Is that it? Yes, that was it. Moon scale. Let's make it happen in the same universe as the other one. And then also we'll animate the moon. You do that by animating the time of day. So like say from 3 o'clock or from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock to maybe 5 o'clock. So we'll see the moon kind of come up and down in the picture while the animation is rendering. So we'll see if we can make that happen tomorrow. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. 1500% moon. It's going to be great. Have a great rest of Saturday, and tomorrow I'm trying to be here at 5, might be a little bit later, 5, something like that. See you later, folks. Bye bye.